In this video, I'm going to look at the Root Beer speech, considered one of the best speeches in Star Trek. It's from Deep Space Nine, Series 4, Episode 1, The Way of the Warrior. So, The Way of the Warrior is the season opener. It's very much the episode of the series that shakes the series up. Worf arrives, Sisko shaves his head and grows a beard, and a large Klingon fleet arrives at the station, intending to declare war on Cardassian, as they are concerned about the Dominion threat, which was fully established in the Season 3 finale. So the Klingons are concerned that Cardassia has been overtaken by the Changelings. They attack civilians such as Garak. They take ships hostage to check them for Changelings. The Federation are unhappy about this. They don't want the Klingons to attack Cardassia. They threaten to end the alliance that was established in the undiscovered country. The episode establishes that the Federation and Starfleet suddenly have a lot to worry about. But the Root Beer speech doesn't involve anyone in Starfleet. It doesn't even involve Federation citizens. This conversation is delivered by the characters Quark and Garak. So Quark is a Ferengi. He's the bar owner in Deep Space Nine, and he likes to present himself as a hard-headed capitalist. He's bribed into staying on the station in the series premiere when Sisko imprisons Nog. Quark likes people. It's been established during the show he showed sympathy for the Bajorans during the occupation, even sacrificing some of his profits to help them. On the other hand, we have Garak, the only Cardassian who stayed on Deep Space Nine when Starfleet came to run the station. He is a quote-unquote tailor, but commonly considered to be a spy. Although exiled from Cardassian, he's widely considered to still be serving Cardassian interests, although he has an antagonistic relationship with many Cardassians, particularly Gul Dukat. Whether he's loyal to the current government or to another faction, he could be described as a Cardassian patriot. The conversation takes place in Quark's bar and starts with Garak walking in and asking for a glass of Kanar, a Cardassian drink.
Might I trouble you for a glass of Kanar?
Quark says,
Help yourself. It's on the house.
which Garak describes as uncharacteristically generous, which I think is a great example of Garak being characteristically polite, yet direct at the same time. Quark explains he's got 80 cases of Kanar sitting in his stockroom.
The way things are going, I'll never unload another bottle, unless it's to you.
And he's got no Cardassians left to sell it to. Garak responds, "How thoughtless of me not to consider the effect the destruction of my homeworld would have."
These must be trying times for you. Be brave.
So we've got a Quark being selfish and Garak politely telling him to get a grip. Quark then continues talking about his cousin who advised him to go into the weapons trade.
No one ever went broke selling weapons. But did I take his advice?
Quark, he says,
Because I'm a people person.
he likes interacting with his customers, like the interaction he's having right now, talking to each other, getting to know one another. So we can see Quark knows himself well enough to understand why he's in this line of business, why he's running a bar. Maybe he knew it back then when his cousin gave him that advice. Maybe it was just a gut instinct and he's only consciously realised in retrospect. But Quark's not the kind of guy who would be happy selling weapons. He can't just follow the profit motive. And then Garak responds,
I can see the attraction for you.
and I'm not quite sure what Garak means here. Garak's a spy, Garak's a tailor. He deals with customers as much as Quark does. So is he just feeling salty about Quark's earlier comments, or is he saying that he doesn't like dealing with people? Again, I believe Garak really enjoys dealing with people, so what exactly does he mean for you? Quark continues, when you're dealing in weapons, buyers aren't interested in casual conversation, and Garak agrees.
Your charms would be wasted.
Exactly.
So Quark reiterates how he got where he is today, what his likes and dislikes, his strengths and weaknesses are. Although he's a Ferengi, and Ferengis are supposed to be ruthless capitalists, he has other motivations and need beyond profit. But he recognised that now his cousin, the weapons dealer, owns his own moon, and Quark is facing financial ruin. And the worst thing of all,
My only hope for salvation is the Federation.
he's depending on the Federation. And Garak agrees he's also depending on the Federation for his future success.
I know precisely how you feel.
So in this episode, the fate of Cardassia, the Klingon intentions to invade Cardassia, is what's in question. At the beginning of the conversation, this puts a wedge between Garak and Quark. Garak is much more personally invested in his planet, in his species. Quark is worried about his business. But now, once we get to the middle of the conversation, the two outsiders find they have something in common. And this is, for me, why Deep Space Nine is such an interesting series. It has well-developed characters who aren't in Starfleet, aren't even Federation citizens, which allows us to see the Federation in a way where they can't just fly away from their problems at the end of each episode. We see the consequences of what the Federation does. Quark offers Garak another glass.
I want you to try something for me. Take a sip of this.
What is it? Garak asks. It's a human drink, Quark explains. It's called root beer. Garak's not sure. Quark appeals to his curiosity, so Garak drinks it.
What do you think?
It's vile.
And then Quark gets to the heart of the matter.
It's so bubbly and cloying and happy.
And Garak responds.
Just like the Federation.
Garak sees Quark's point immediately. The Federation present themselves in a certain way, a way that at first seems naive to cultures that base themselves on more direct ideas of power, like money, like the Ferengi and Quark do, or realpolitik and intelligence, such as the Cardassians and Garak do. So think of the premise of Deep Space Nine. The Federation are giving aid to Bajor, for example, by providing staff to run the space station. The Federation frames this as aid, but they want Bajor to join the Federation. So now, in real life, there are plenty of examples where richer, stronger countries send aid to smaller, poorer countries, and in real life, this often creates dependence. It creates client-state relationship. So Quark and Garak are both outsiders who have some innate distaste and distrust for the Federation, but the conversation continues. Quark says,
If you drink enough of it, you begin to like it.
And Garak responds,
It's insidious.
Just like the Federation.
So here Quark echoes Garak's earlier line to show they're in agreement with each other. They get the point that Quark is making. And then the last two lines.
Do you think they'll be able to save us?
I hope so.
So these two people, from different races, from different cultures, they've made certain choices in life. And because of that, they're now stuck at the mercy of the Federation, who employs these sweet, cloying ideas that, in some ways, they find attractive. So Garak is more just physically trapped due to the fact of his exile. Quark is more seduced by Federation ideals. So he runs a bar instead of doing things that he knows could be more profitable. He chose to stay on the station. He could have left at any point in the last 3 years, but the Federation and its ideals are making life attractive and comfortable for him. So that's what I think of the root beer scene. It's a great example of how Deep Space Nine deepens the Star Trek franchise, but also subverts and re-examines some of the ideas from the previous shows. Thanks for watching.